Hola, ¿cómo te trata la vida? This is the Prince of Macedon doing a commentary video for Napoleon Total War multiplayer. I command the Spanish, and my opponent is Spartan Cookies in command of the Prussians. And we'll be fighting on the Waterloo map, and I will list the units for you again. And those guys in brown, those are my guerrillas, or guerrillas. Then back here, this is my regular line infantry, and they are called line infantry. Oh, and my line infantry occupies my left wing, and occupying my right wing are my guard infantry. And those guys have some very distinct looking uniforms, which is why I kind of like them right now. And on my right wing, I have a unit of the guard cav. I have one over here, and I have one on my other wing. And behind my guard on my right, I have my hussars. So I distributed my cav equally on both of my wings here. In addition to my guard cav, I also have my line cav. The line cav are the ones wearing the red coats. And in the very back, I have my general staff unit here. Buenos dias, muchacho. Okay, let's go look at the Prussian army commanded by Spartan Cookies. I'm going to list his units as well. What we're looking at right now were his 7-pounder howitzers. Then you can see all kinds of musketeers, and right there is an East Prussian Grenadier battalion. There's some grenadiers, and some other nice units. Oh, right there is his historical general. That is Count von Gneisenau. And right there, those guys with the white plumes on their shakas, those were his foot guards. On his right wing, he posted some cav. That's where most of his cav is. He has cuirassiers, and he also had his Brandenburg Uhlans. And then he has more cuirassiers on his left in the forest back here. But that's his army. And you can see I kicked off the battle with multiple cav charges on multiple fronts of his army. And here I'm crashing into his Silesian Schützen. And taking out his skirmishers wasn't my objective. My objective is to take out his howitzers, because as you can see, I don't have any artillery pieces. And yeah, you can see I started off the battle on multiple fronts here. And while I'm doing that, I'm also bringing up the rest of my infantry just behind my cav attack. And these are my hussars. These are the guys who I sent to take out his howitzers. And my guy succeeded in that mission.
Our men are running.
And by the time my opponent realized what I was actually going for, it was too late. So I didn't mind sacrificing, I think 2 or 3 of my cav squadrons. And by the way, that was a very risky attack, and I don't really recommend it unless you don't mind losing your horse units. But anyways, behind my horse attack, that's when I brought up the rest of my army here. As you can see, I saved some of my horses, so it wasn't too much of a gamble. Alright, so I got my sweet-looking skirmishers doing battle with his frontline troops right now. And right there, that first unit, that is his foot guard. And yeah, as my skirmishers are getting into position, I'm also getting the rest of my army to bring up the rear. And I actually succeeded in destroying his cav, so I was kind of happy about that. And that's the one thing about Spain that I really like, is that I think they're considered a minor faction, but they have a lot of units to choose from, to be honest. Like, their horse selection is very extensive. And their infantry is pretty decent. Like, they have very good skirmishers. And their heavy infantry, you can choose their guard infantry to supplement your line infantry. So I'd say all in all, Spain's a very good minor faction. Actually, a very excellent minor faction. Alright, here come the foot guards. And my skirmishers are plucking away at them. And in case you haven't realized this, we are fighting on the Waterloo map. I think I've showed this map like 3 or 4 times already. Alright, so he is going for my skirmishers, but not too advisable because I have my heavy infantry behind. And here I didn't see this coming. I plan to launch his cuirassiers on his left into my guys right there. So otherwise, if I saw that coming, I would have formed him to a square. But look at that, I routed his foot guard, so I was very happy about that. And yeah, I think at the beginning when I saw his advance coming, I launched my spoiling attack. And by doing so, I kind of confused my opponent. That's why his attack is now in disarray. But otherwise, if I would have just sat back on the hill, then my opponent would have easily destroyed me. So that's another reason why I think it's good to be on the offensive. I mean, typically the defensive will favor the defender, of course, but this is one of the few cases where the attack will favor you. Alright, so I pretty much lost my cav here. You can see what's going to happen to my guys. See all those Prussian units surrounding my cav units? But that's fine, because I'm winning the infantry fight. And at this point, I can pretty much win the battle if I win the infantry fight. Alright, what's going on here?
Our men are running, sir.
Yeah, I'm losing some of my guys, but yeah, I am outflanking his main body of infantry right now. So I was pretty confident that I could take out his cav units if they came to attack me. What is this? My opponent is trying to shuffle his infantry around, but you can see that when I launched my spawn attack, that completely messed up his plans. Because look at the rest of his infantry body, his musketeers. You can see that they are formed up in a very thick ranks right now.
Our men are running, sir.
And typically you want to spread your guys out. All right, you can see a close-up of my guard infantry in action, and I believe I'm doing battle with one of his grenadier units here. And I'm not sure if that's his East Prussian grenadiers. Can't really tell from the uniform because I hardly play this game, to be honest. And I've only used the Prussians once, I believe. Maybe twice. Right. So, my guys would typically do better in this kind of engagement, but they're kind of depleted right now. So that's why his grenadiers were able to overpower my guard units. Alright, just looking at the overhead, you can see that we're having a general exchange of musket fire right now. And this is going to favor my guys now, just because I have more men bearing down on his infantry. And if you look in the distance, you can see him bringing his cav behind me, or he's starting to. Alright. So he's trying to form a battle line here. And what is this? You can see some of his units have gone up the hill, but they have taken fire from my line infantry. So that's not going to go too well for his guys. And I'm bringing up more guys to overlap his wing here. So, oh yeah, you can see his cav. That's what his cav was doing. He was trying to outflank me, but I was able to form my guys into a square, so his cav assault is going to fail. But it's a good thing for my opponent that he's going to withdraw instead of staying in there. Because it seems like a lot of people, they just want to stay in that fight when they get stuck in the square, but you don't want to do that. You want to pull out immediately. Alright, so I'm bringing up more of my infantry here. And the general idea is basically overpower his infantry and then let his cav die without the infantry. Alright, he is moving forward here. Those are his grenadiers coming forward. And I've got some of my guard infantry in the forest here. And we're gonna watch a close up. Look at that crap they're throwing at my guys. Since those are grenadiers, you pretty much know what they're throwing at me. And a lot of smoke appears, but my guys do not break. And actually, I didn't see too many of my guys fall. I would say that was more of a morale blow than anything else. But his guys are pretty brave. They have enough time to toss a second round of grenades at my guys. And again, I don't see too many of my guys fall, but I'm sure that played havoc on their morale. But unfortunately for the grenadiers, they actually broke first. Yeah, the biggest drawback of grenadiers is that they have to get really close to use your grenades. But if you can toss your grenades, then that's really good. But if you can't, then your guys are probably gonna die. Alright. So he launched his cav again to harass my guys. And you can see I'm just beating back his wing here. And what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, okay, we are winning on the left flank. And he has one unit here, and those are more grenadiers. And you can see by the way he advanced forward like that he wants to toss grenades, and he actually succeeds in tossing his grenades. And you can see the explosion. It looks pretty glorious. But of course that's gonna be really damaging for his guys, because they have to get so close to use their grenades. Alright, my opponent routed some of my guerrillas. And I really want to take out those dudes right there. And I actually did a 180 with my line infantry to put some musket fire on those lancers. Alright, over here my opponent had some troops kind of idle, so I launched my line infantry in a bayonet charge against him, and that's going to succeed in routing those guys. Alright, so you can see a lot of his units are routing, and we actually killed Count von Gneisenau. I remember bringing some of my infantry up to target his general, his historical general, and my opponent only has his cav unit left, but because of the morale, they actually broke, and that's the end of the battle. And I'll let you read the results. That was a pretty good battle, and good game to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle on the Waterloo map.